So thank you everyone that has joined us so far. We've got about 220 of you, which is really, really exciting. My name is Malika. I will be your host this evening. I'm an account partner here at Success at School, and I'm really excited to bring you the team here at Rolls-Royce. So Rolls-Royce has an abundance of opportunities for you all to begin your career your way, with apprenticeships ranging from nuclear engineering all the way to marketing and digital. You've got an opportunity waiting just for you. We'll hear from Stella, who is the Early Careers Campus Recruiter, who's going to give you all the details about the apprenticeship opportunities on offer. And she has very kindly placed the link to all the apprenticeship opportunities in the chat already. And then we will also hear from apprentices Freya, Abby, Joshua, and George, who will give all their application hints, tips, and tricks. Before I turn the discussion over to the team at Rolls-Royce, if you have any questions at all during the presentation, please submit them in the chat and we'll address them during the live Q&A session for about 15 minutes towards the end of the webinar. Since there are so many attendees, we really anticipate getting quite a few questions, but we will do our best to answer as many as possible. The webinar will also be recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel at Success at School, so you can re-watch it as many times as you'd like. You can also follow us on Instagram at Success at School to hear about all the latest opportunities and insight webinars just like this one. I'll now pass it over to the team.
Thanks, Malika. Hi, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you tonight. And so I'm the campus recruiter for Rolls-Royce, but I've got some great apprentices that I'd like to introduce to you. So, Josh, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, hello. My name's Josh. I am part of the Nuclear Skills Academy at Rolls-Royce, more the submarine side of it. And a little fun fact about me is that I am a paddle sport instructor.
Wow, excellent. I've tried that once, but I didn't do very well at all. So very good.
I could give you a lesson.
Oh, thanks.
No
we'll
problem.
sort that out later.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm George. I am also a nuclear degree apprentice, so I work for Rolls-Royce Submarines. And a fun fact about me is recently I got into running, so over the summer I completed a 24-hour run.
Wow, 24 hours?
Yeah, I covered about 120 kilometres.
Amazing. Okay, Abby, can you follow that?
Yeah, so hi everyone, I'm Abby. I am in the final year of my apprenticeship, which is the Advanced Practical Maintenance Apprenticeship. And a fun fact about me is that in my spare time, I race motocross.
Fantastic. Thank you, Abby. And Freya, please.
Hi everyone, so I'm Freya Beckson. I'm a non-destructive evaluation degree apprentice. I'm also in the final year of my apprenticeship. And I guess a fun fact about me is that I really like to keep organised, whether that be in work or when I'm travelling. So yeah.
That's because you do like travelling, don't you, Freya? Where's the last place you've been?
I went to Sweden most recently.
Oh, lovely. Okay. So, yes, like we say, we're from Rolls-Royce. Just let me do this. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll have more of an understanding about Rolls-Royce, find out about what apprenticeships we've got on offer, and also hopefully get some hints and tips to help with your application. So who are we? So you might hear the words Rolls-Royce and you think, oh, wait a minute, sorry, that's gone off. Where's that gone? Try again. It decided to stop working now. So you might hear the word Rolls-Royce and you think, okay, I know about them. They make cars. Well, we sold the car bit over 20 years ago. So we are one of the world's leading industrial technology companies who are looking at around connection, power, and how we can protect the society as well. So a little bit about our company. So we believe in transforming the potential of technology to protect our planet, secure our world, and explore our universe. So we're looking at the power to connect and protect society, and we do this in 4 key areas. So we've got civil aerospace. So we make aeroplane engines that push the boundaries of possibility for large commercial and business aviation engines. We do defence. We're leaders in military, air and naval power solutions, supplying nuclear for all UK Royal Navy submarines. We do power systems. So this is an area that we're looking at around nuclear power systems. At the moment, we're in the process of looking at being able to do power systems that are able to be taken remote, to be used on the field. We also do electrical, and we're at the forefront of advancing our all-electric aircraft, and something that we're looking at is around the hybrid electric power and looking at the opportunities to get into our net zero transition. So there's lots of many exciting things that we're doing. And as you can see there's some exciting facts about Rolls-Royce there. So let's move on to what is an apprenticeship at Rolls-Royce. So Freya, you're coming to the end of your apprenticeship now. So can you tell us a little bit about what you think an apprenticeship is?
Yeah, so an apprenticeship isn't what you may stereotypically think an apprenticeship is. So there'll be a lot of parents on the line, and my parents didn't really understand what it was initially. Like, they just thought it was kind of like you get a little job and you might, come out with a job at the end of it, but it's so much more than that. So you can see some key bullet points on the side there. It is about having a real job with a salary. For me, it was studying a full-time degree. So, when I come off my apprenticeship, I get a bachelor's in engineering with honours, just as a normal, university student would get. It gives you the ability to learn whilst you earn. So we'll go through like potentially the salaries later, but you can see them on our website as well when you go to apply for an apprenticeship. But they vary slightly just on what qualification and what level apprenticeship you're actually on. 4 to 5 years, depending on which level that is. And it's a real good head start in your career. We've got a lot of the seniors within the company that started as an apprentice because they were able to get that head start into industry. If you put me next to a university student, what we have in common is we've got the same level of qualification, but I've got 4 years full-time industry experience and I'm familiar with how the company works. So I really am at an advantage to what they are, because I know what the company's about already and I know how to work in that environment. And also it's great because it allows people the opportunity to join straight after school, college, or even if we've got some adults on the line who are looking for a career change, it gives you that opportunity as well. One of the apprentices in the year above me, he used to be a maths teacher and wanted a career change and has now taken up engineering. So yeah, hopefully that's given you a little bit of information on what an apprenticeship actually is.
Absolutely, Freya. I was actually with an apprentice yesterday who he had been in the Royal Navy for 5 years before actually deciding he wanted to do a degree apprenticeship. So there's so many different opportunities there, either to come straight from school, college, or when you want to do a career change as well. So it is just a real good kickstart to getting a career with that hands-on experience. Also, Freya, because when you go to university, do you find that because you are on your apprenticeship that it helps you with your coursework?
Yeah, definitely. What you'll find is that some of the modules we're actually exempt from anyway, because we cover those modules within working hours. So I won't have to do a module on like basic engineering because I do engineering day to day in my job. So I don't actually have to sit that module because I've already got credits that account for that. But also when I'm coming to exams, don't get me wrong, some of them aren't applicable day to day, like the laws and legislation. I'm not a law apprentice, so I don't have to think about that every day. But when I'm contacting suppliers and that kind of thing, that comes in useful. But then there are ones such as testing techniques. So for me personally, I do radiography, and there's a radiography module. So like what I was doing practically at work and in the lab really helped towards my understanding for the actual degree. So it does work hand in hand.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Freya. So you can join us on our journey at different levels. So we've got the advanced apprenticeships, and in a minute Abby's going to talk you through that. And these are for young people with GCSEs or equivalent. It's for 4 years and you're gaining qualifications or equivalent to 3 A levels. So you're getting that recognised qualification, but again, you're getting that hands-on experience and working towards the qualification. We've also for this year newly got a higher apprenticeship, which is a level 4, and I'll talk you through that in a minute. And that's either if you've got GCSEs or also sometimes if you've got some A levels. And again, that's for 4 years, and you're gaining a HNC in engineering at the end of it. And then finally, we've got our degree apprenticeships, and this is at level 6 and at level 7. And these are for young people that have already done their A levels or equivalent, and you're looking for a degree apprenticeship. And Josh and George will like to talk you through all the different types of apprenticeships that we've got on offer. So Abby, I mean, we talked a little bit about the advanced apprenticeship. So you're coming to the end of your programme. But I mean, do you want to tell a little bit about what it covers?
Yes, so the advanced apprenticeship is suitable for people coming straight out of school who've got the recommended GCSEs. So this is the path that I decided to take. And you can see on the screen there the different roles that the advanced apprenticeship offers. So you can apply for any one of these. So like on there we've got fitter, electrical, welder, machinist. Engineering maintenance is the one that I went for. I find that really diverse and there's a lot of good stuff on that one. And then you can see NDT inspector, instrument technician and mechanical apprenticeship as well. So there's lots of choice there for anyone who's, I don't know what you want to do. There's multiple options. And a lot of them are very practical.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Abby, isn't it? Is that the advanced apprenticeship, you're there doing the hands-on skills right from day one, aren't you? Because you're working, learning those practical skills, aren't you?
Yeah, that's what really sold it to me, really, because I actually did a year of sixth form and then decided it wasn't for me because I didn't enjoy just sitting in the classroom all day. So I found this advanced apprenticeship really perfect for that. You actually get to do the hands-on stuff as well as learning all the college stuff as well. So as you can see there, the entry requirements are a minimum of 4 GCSEs. So it's a grade 4 in maths, English language and science, and then 1 other subject.
So yeah, because the thing is, Abby, and I think this is something that you might be able to remember from your assessment centre today, is that it's not just about the entry requirements, is it? You know, it is about you as a person that we want to be getting.
Yeah, definitely. Like if you've got any out of school hobbies or anything that really reflects your interest in engineering, I'd say definitely involve that in your application because it really helps.
Excellent. Thank you, Abby. And then we've also got the higher apprenticeship. So this is new for this year. And it's a level 4 qualification, but you can still come to it straight from school. So it's a minimum of 5 GCSEs, and we're looking for that grade 5 in maths, but then grade 4 for your other subjects. And you can either do it in manufacturing engineering technician, which is in Bristol site, or our nuclear engineering technician, which is in our Derby site. And it's a really exciting new apprenticeship. And at the end of it, you'll come out with that HNC in engineering and also become a specialist technician role, which can lead to a range of careers throughout Rolls-Royce. So Josh and George, I mean, you're on the degree apprenticeship. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm happy to briefly explain or start. So there's over, obviously, I'm not going to read them all off because there's well over 15.
There's lots,
roles.
isn't there? We've got so many new ones.
So please have a read. So me and Josh are both on the nuclear business management one. So we started back in September. We both came straight from college and sixth form with we just received our A levels and then started in September. I think it's great because we work very closely with Derby University, and so today and tomorrow we spend 2 days studying, and we have lecturers come to us at the new Nuclear Skills Academy that we'll talk about briefly. Josh, is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah, so I saw some of the questions. One of them asked about study time. So for our degree, we get 6 hours a week designated to study time, and then a few lectures every now and again. So yeah, there's the 6 hours. And there was another question as well, wasn't there, that I saw? see if I can find it. I mean, I'll try and think if there's anything else there is. When it says there about the 5 minimum GCSEs, it's not too, basically the way they like to put it is that it's more about developing your kind of personality rather than the level. So they don't like to put the grades up too high. It's more about then developing the grades afterwards. So it's open for a lot of people. So don't be afraid to apply, basically. That's what I found.
Absolutely, Josh. So, I mean, you talked briefly there about your university days. Do you get support within Rolls-Royce as well to do with your degree?
Yes, so you can either choose to have a study day off or you can study in working hours. Rolls-Royce, I'm sure that if you work in a department, so for our business side, we're mostly working at Rainsway. And in your department, most of those people that you'll be working with are specialists in certain areas. So if you need to ask for help, then they're hopefully willing to help you. Everyone I've spoken to so far has been very willing to help out. And the Rolls-Royce are very accommodating in hours that they give you to study, and they don't they want you to do well, obviously. So
excellent. So as you can see there, we've got a wide variety of roles covering engineering, but as well as the business side as well. And this is where, George and Josh, I mean, they're just on the beginning of their career journey, but hopefully they're going to enjoy the next 4 years and really develop that specialism, get their degree, which they don't have to pay for. Rolls-Royce are fully funding that degree, and also you get a salary as well. So Freya, I mean, you've been in the business now for 4 years. So, I mean, what do you think that you get out of Rolls-Royce?
There's so much, really. I mean, like, I've worked from age 16, and I'll come on to that later, and I've done various different jobs. But Rolls-Royce, with their competitive salary and rewards of benefit, have allowed me to do something that I didn't know if I would be able to do on an apprenticeship, which is actually have the freedom to travel. So that's one thing with being paid a salary compared to my friends who are either just finishing their degrees and they've done a year abroad and they have had to move back in with parents when they've been used to living by themselves, and they're not financially free like I am. I've been able to get my own car. In fact, just last week I bought my own house, which I'm really proud of, because I've been able to save because of the money that obviously I've been earning at Rolls-Royce. So that's been really, really good. Like, I'm 21 years old, so that's great. But there's so much more than just the salary. Other rewards and benefits, you get really competitive holidays, which obviously allows me the time off to travel kind of like the world, as I have been doing over the last few years. As you sort of Josh and George mentioned, you do get your study leave and support with that. So you can take that study leave when you want to take the leave, before your exams or before your mocks, or however you best want to use that time. We all have people managers within the business called apprentice development leaders. So if you've got any concerns regarding mental health and well-being, or your progress at university or within work, you can speak to them, and you can be put on kind of supportive learning plans, which isn't a bad thing. It's just saying I need a bit of extra help, and then they can support with that. So that's been that is really good. For the people who require that, that's great. And sometimes it's great just to kind of voice how you're feeling. If you're feeling a bit stressed or overwhelmed, then those support networks are there for you to use, as well as from managers, leaders. I've been lucky enough to have all sorts of opportunities, including working with our CEOs and executive team, chatting with different chiefs of engineering across the business. So kind of the real seniors within the business, hosting award ceremonies, you name it. I've kind of had the opportunity to do that. So it's great to be able to have so many different opportunities and be paid a competitive salary, and kind of just be leaps and bounds ahead of all my friends who unfortunately are really stressed and struggling to get jobs at the end of university. So yeah, I feel really fortunate to have had the opportunity.
No, that's great, Freya. And you touched on it there about, you have done so many different opportunities, where you've compared awards nights and everything, isn't it? So as part of what you'll get is really, I suppose it's about that self-development as well, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. We also do forms that you can fill out with your managers and with mentors and with all different people across the business, which is your individual development plan. And it's kind of setting out your 5-year goals, your 10-year goals, if you have them. And if you don't, it's about setting the small milestones that will help you develop an idea of what you want to do. So for me, it's not necessarily being a technical specialist, but perhaps looking more into sort of like a technical management role where I'm kind of involved with the technical engineering side, but kind of managing a team of people. So it's been really good to kind of develop, and because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I started. So yeah, it's really, really good.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Freya. So Abby, I mean, you've been actually at the Apprenticeship Academy, isn't it, on Wilmore Road in Derby, the last 3-4 years, isn't it? So do you want to say a little bit about where it is, how you learn there?
So the LDC is dedicated purely for apprentices to help with the learning and development stage of the apprenticeship. So in my first year, I was there constantly doing a week of college learning and then a couple of weeks of workshop learning at a time. So there's really good workshops there, multiple ones with different equipment that's all tailored to learning the different basic skills. So there's a fitting workshop, an assembly workshop, we've got lathes, there's an electrical workshop, basically everything just to help them basic skills before you go out into the business. The top floor of the academy is also dedicated to classrooms for when we have college, so the teachers actually came to us instead of us having to go to Derby College. So that was really helpful. Everything's just in one place, really. You don't have to worry about getting places, meeting people. Everything is just all done in the Learning Academy. So yeah, it's a really good base point for the apprenticeship.
That's excellent, Abby, because I think something that's quite unique to Rolls-Royce is having it all on site like that, isn't it? And, you know, have you found yourself that it's, you know, you're quite surprised about how many practical skills you've now developed?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I had basic mechanical skills before I started because I've grown up working on motorbikes, but with the LDC, it's like if you haven't got any skills at all, or if you're not used to using tools, they'll take you right from the base level and give you them skills. And it's like with me with electrical, I hadn't really done much of that, but they really take their time, teach you the basics, and then work your way up. And then by the time you get out into the business, you've got them basic skills that you can then develop with the actual maintenance teams, which is really good. Well, for me, it depends what area you ended up in, but it's very much like that. They don't just kind of send you out into the business clueless. It's excellent. Really good. Yeah.
Thanks, Abby. So I mean, Josh and George, I mean, you've just started your degree apprenticeship at the Nuclear Skills Academy, which is brand new for this year. So I mean, do you want to give us a little bit of an insight about how that is?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, as you said, it's very new. It was all exciting when we got there. It's located in Infinity Parkway, Derby. So it's one of the main aero bases, or one of the main aero places for Rolls-Royce in the country. Most of us, the same as the LDC, the Learning Development Centre, most of your education and learning will be done there. So you don't have to go to the University of Derby. It's all done there, state-of-the-art facility. We were given laptops for work, so it accommodates to all needs. If you couldn't necessarily afford a laptop, then you'll be provided with one to do work, which was incredibly useful for a lot of people. Have food, basic things, you know, hot food, cold food, drinks.
You've always got to have food. That's one thing.
Yeah, always got to have food. And it is, again, it's full of brilliant students who have also been through the same selection process. So you have all sorts of different people there. It's incredible, really, because everyone's been through that selection process to meet Rolls-Royce standards. Yeah. So it's a great place to learn. Lots of brilliant minds there, all ready and willing to learn. And yeah, it's brilliant. It looks brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, it was exciting, really, because I mean, it's the first year that we've had the Nuclear Skills Academy and the nuclear programs, isn't it? So you're there right from day one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, one quick thing. So obviously we started in September and the Nuclear Skills Academy was only decided in April. So it was definitely a bit of a rush for a lot of people. But we turned up in September and it was great. So I'm a business, but for them engineers out there, they are currently installing 4 brand new engineering workshops that will be ready for when you guys hopefully start in September. So that's great. Rolls-Royce have nearly funded the whole project, so they haven't had much input from the government. So Rolls-Royce clearly, and they've cut no corners. It's a pretty great place.
Yeah, no, and that's something that they are committed to, is around the nuclear degree apprenticeships as well, all apprenticeships, you know. So we have actually signed up that that there's going to be 200 apprentices every year for the next 10 years. So I mean, that is something that's a guarantee. So I mean, it's a very exciting time really to be part of the nuclear journey, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah, 200 if not more, because there's never been more demand for you guys.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so hopefully that's give you some idea about our apprenticeships on offer and also how you do your apprenticeship. So hopefully you're thinking, well, how can I apply? So it's quite simple. So we've got the stage 1 is the application form. So this is an online application form. And at this stage, we're asking for your basic details about your qualifications and your background. But we also want to know about you, so your extracurricular activities. So like Abby was talking about the motocross, I'm sure you mentioned that in your application and it helped you with your assessment day, didn't it, Abby?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, give me something to discuss with the assessors on the interview day.
Yeah, excellent. So there'll be 3 questions on there, and depending if you're doing the advanced, higher or degree, the questions may differ slightly, but mainly it's we want to get to find out that you're passionate, that you're motivated, and why you're the perfect choice, really, that we want to be picking you. So this is a real good chance for us to let us know about you. The next stage is the online assessment. So once you've completed your application, we don't go into detail looking at your application at that stage. We just check you're eligible and we'll send you the links to do our online assessments. So you'll have 4 days to complete this stage, and there are opportunities to make sure that you've got time to be able to do that. So I don't know if any of you could, well, I suppose Josh and George, I mean, you was only last year. So I mean, there's the situational judgment, which is a bit like a WhatsApp style. There's also the logical reasoning, which is like patterns or sequencing. And then there's the psychological assessment, where we're looking if your values and behaviours are in line with Rolls-Royce. Once you've done that stage, you get that email to say congratulations, you've passed. And this is when we now look at your application and your CV, and then we'll see whether we're going to invite you along to the assessment centre. Now, for our degree apprentices, this will be a virtual assessment centre. For our advanced and higher, this will be face-to-face at the LDC in Derby. Hopefully, I'll get to see you because sometimes I'm there as well. And you'll come along to our assessment centre, and it will include interviews, either on MS Teams or face-to-face, one-to-one with an assessor. You will do a problem-solving case study. Now, this is something that you can't practice beforehand. We will give you the information on the day, and then it's about that you look at that information and then you decide on the best solution or the best option. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's more about how you look at information and how your thought processes and how you can feed that back. And then you'll do a technical presentation of your choice, and we'll send you information about that once you get through to the assessment centre. And then if you're doing our advanced apprenticeship, you'll also do a following instructions exercise, where you'll be given some written and some picture instructions, and you have to make an object. And then finally, hopefully after the assessment centre, you'll be given an offer. And so we'll be in touch with you hopefully in 4 working days, and we'll let you know if you've been successful or not. At this stage, because you've given up your time for us at the assessment centre, we'll give you that full feedback regardless if you've been successful or not. So we'll give you pointers on what you can do to support your application next time. Okay, so life at Rolls-Royce. So, I mean, all four of you, I mean, you're all at different stages of your career, isn't it? So, but I mean, by coming on to this event tonight, Abby, actually, that's one of the things that you get those opportunities, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. There's loads of chances to get involved with stuff like this, and especially for me, trying to get other people to join the apprenticeship and being involved in that is really important, because I thought it was a great path for me. So it's great to be able to share that.
Excellent. And I mean, Freya, I mean, you've been involved in a lot of projects over the 4 years as well. Which is the one that stands out most to you?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
Sorry, I've put you on the spot there, haven't I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with the Girl Guiding event that I did, because it was a real good day out. It was the opportunity to kind of talk to all different age groups, you know, right from the younger girls right up to sort of age 14, about you know, you can be whatever you kind of want to be. It was a world of opportunities day, and to actually showcase what I do in work within radiography, and that was, you know, across civil aerospace and submarines business, was great to be able to see that they didn't even know that was a possibility. They didn't realize that was a job. So it was really great to showcase that and showcase the different opportunities out there as well.
Excellent. Now that sounds a really exciting project that you took part in there. I mean, Josh, I mean, you've only just started in September. Have you had to look at any of the rewards that are on offer at the moment, or things that you can do on Leatro, you know, the online learning platform?
Yeah, I have looked at a few of them actually. I was applying to be a STEM ambassador, like a full-on STEM ambassador.
Right. Okay.
But I've not done too much. I've not adventured too far into Leatro yet.
You've got plenty of time to do that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
plenty.
Excellent. And I mean, there's the Apprentice and Graduate Association. Or any of you involved in that at all?
Yes, I am. I'm not deeply involved, but I have attended a couple of the events that they put on. So, you know, we all get together for the degree guys who are over the age of 18. We do pub crawls, and we've done Halloween boat parties and all sorts of different things. So, it is great, especially if you've moved away. So, you know, one of my friends who's on the apprenticeship program, he actually moved up from London. So didn't kind of know anyone in Derby either. So it was quite nice because, you know, we were able to make friends through that network. So that was really good.
Excellent. Thank you. And Freya, I mean, if you want to just quickly talk you through your career journey, and just let me know when you want me to move on.
Right, brilliant. I'll keep it short. So essentially, I started work when I was 16 years old. I started as a waitress. I did a year's waitressing on £4.05 an hour. And then I got a car and thought, I can't afford a car when I'm paid £4. So I moved swiftly on to the second photo on, you know, at the top, which is me dressed as a mascot from Paw Patrol, raising money for charity whilst I was working at TK Maxx. So I worked at TK Maxx for a year because I wanted to work at Mamas and Papas, but I couldn't work at Mamas and Papas until I had a year's retail experience.
Right.
So July 2019 on that timeline, that's me on my birthday actually, at Mamas and Papas, as a sales consultant. So as a personal shopper and car seat consultant for 15 months at Mamas and Papas. Then I got my A-level results, and I also worked at M&S for a while as well. And the September 2019 photo, that's just me on DV. And I just wanted to mention that you can move to the next slide, by the way, Stella, thanks. But I just wanted to mention that you don't have to have engineering work experience. I know that, just to cover a couple of the questions, you don't have to have engineering work experience. I had none. I actually thought I wanted to be a vet, did all the work experience for it, didn't want to be a vet anymore. So I came to Rolls-Royce with no engineering work experience, but I could demonstrate that I put myself out there. I'd got a job. I know that it's been a little bit difficult with, dare I say, the pandemic, for you guys to potentially get work experience. So that's not a hindrance. It just means you've got to use your other extracurricular activities to your strength. So like Duke of Edinburgh's award, or if you've volunteered, so I volunteered at Girl Guiding, anything like that you can sort of put yourself out there a little bit more than the rest of the crowd, that would be great. So my apprenticeship, in a summary, is that I'm actually from Nottingham, but I've worked in Hucknall, Derby, Anstey, which is near Coventry, and I'm currently working in Birmingham. So I'm a Derby-based apprentice. So for any of you asking, if I move out of Derby, the company do cover the cost of that because I am a Derby-based apprentice. But obviously they wouldn't cover the cost of my commute to work because that's just a normal commute. But because I'm currently placed in Birmingham, that's where the business wants me at the minute, then they are funding my travel to there. So just to answer a couple of questions. And then I'm a non-destructive testing degree apprentice, which means I test metals without destroying them, basically engine components. So if anyone's broken a bone and had an x-ray, or if we've got any parents who have had children on the call, when you have an ultrasound scan when you're at hospital, basically I use ultrasound and x-ray to see if we've got any damage, cracks, porosity, all of that kind of thing in our engine components to pass them off safe to fly. So that's pretty much what I do. I'm working towards my bachelor's engineering degree and sort of being like an NDT manager at the same time. So that's great. Here's just a few photos taken of my apprenticeship timeline. So September 2019 is when I joined the company. I joined after my A-levels, so I went to a standard state school. I did GCSEs. I then moved on to A-levels. I picked my A-levels because I thought I wanted to be a vet. So I originally did maths, geography, chemistry, and biology. And then I changed them all around and ended up doing maths, chemistry, and business. So, you know, it doesn't matter kind of like what you start off with, kind of just fathom your path out as you go and make those amendments. So I started off in the submarines business for 6 months. The second photo on the bottom, December 2019, I spent 3 months in Cardiff doing my non-destructive testing qualifications. So I did those in Cardiff. So that's a photo of the bridge that you go, I think it's between Bristol and somewhere else. And then in March, I went to Hucknall. I did a year getting my radiography hours. March 2021, I moved to additive manufacturing. So basically 3D printing parts, which was like super interesting. Mm-hmm. December 2021, I started in Anstey at the fan case facility. So I really have sort of seen a variety of different components. April 2022, that's a photo of our of the Spitfire at the East Midlands hangar that we've got, the Rolls-Royce East Midlands hangar. So that was really cool to see, just one of the little trips, one of many trips I've been on within Rolls-Royce. And then that's me in a lab coat. I've done some fluorescent penetrant testing there, and I'm currently working in Birmingham. If you could just go to the next slide, thank you. So I actually go to the University of Northampton. So a couple of you asking about the University of Derby. You don't get to pick which university you go to. When you pick the apprenticeship, that selects the degree for you, basically. So there's a set degree with each apprenticeship programme. There's a list of modules. I'm not going to read them all out, but they're full-time modules that I cover as part of that degree over the 4 years. There's me and a lab coat just in the labs. So, you know, they've got really good facilities. I've done some hardness and strength tests in the lab, thermography, imaging, so thermal imaging cameras. That's one of my colleagues there with the glasses on. So yeah, there's lots of experiments and lab work, and I could talk all day about the apprenticeship, but basically I've had what I wanted, which was to be able to travel, move around the business. I've actually got a trip with work to Germany next week. So that's great. So I'm going to Germany to have a look at some radiography and computer tomography, so CT kit for the business. So that's really good. So I've had the opportunity to travel. I've studied a full-time degree. I've been given enough holiday that I can also travel the world outside of work as well, and, you know, get paid that salary and really enjoy it as well and get lots of opportunities. And I go to university on block release. So I go for 1 week every 5 weeks, about 5 weeks a year. So I go like 1 week in January, February, March, April and May. And then I sit my exams in the summer. You do have to do some work outside of your working hours to stay on top of like your coursework or your dissertation, especially in the final year. But also some of your time at Rolls-Royce is dedicated to university study. So, you know, you are able to balance it. I don't think it's impossible to balance the two, because as I said, you are exempt from some modules anyway at university because you're doing them in full-time work. And overall, it's so worth it just to take on a little bit of extra workload. And it definitely hasn't taken away from the university experience. You know, I've probably partied just as much as university students have, you know, along
You've had
with
a
my
bit
colleagues.
more money.
Yeah, but I've got a bit more money at the end of it. So the party never stops. So for those who want that, don't be worried that you're not going to get that lifestyle. And if you want to live elsewhere other than home, which I know was a big driving factor for some of my friends going to university, you could always go into accommodation closer to work. There's lots of apprentices that travel from all over the country to come to Rolls-Royce in Derby. So there's quite a few people who get like house shares together. So if you kind of want that experience of living with different people anyway, it's more than likely that you're going to be able to get that. So yeah, that's my piece.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Freya. I mean,
Thank you.
so much of it's exciting opportunities that you've had over the 4 years. And I mean, I saw you probably right at the beginning of your apprenticeship, and to see what you've now done is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So, Abby, do you want to quickly talk about your apprenticeship, please?
Yeah, so I completed my GCSEs. I am actually from Bakewell, so I'm about an hour away from the site that I'm based at Derby. But like Freya says, some people choose to move a bit closer. But by the time I joined, I'd actually passed my driving test, so I just do the drive each way now every day. So I started sixth form. I didn't know what I wanted to do when I finished my GCSEs. All my careers advisors kind of just pushed me towards sixth form. But after doing a year of it, I just decided it really wasn't for me. It was more of just kind of similar to school, just studying all the time, sat in a classroom, whereas I prefer the more hands-on stuff. So I looked into apprenticeships, and the Rolls-Royce one really stood out for me. So I went through all the recruitment process and luckily got in, which I'm very thankful for, because it has been a really good experience and proper put me on the path which I didn't know I wanted to be on, really. So as it says there, I started the mechatronic maintenance practical apprenticeship in September 2019, and I'm now in my final year. So I did my first year at the LDC, learning all my basic skills, getting my college work done. So I've now got the college qualifications that I might have got from going to college or doing my A-levels, whatever. I've gained all that from just doing the apprenticeship. And then for the past couple of years, I've been out in a business placement. So I'm based in Turbines, which is still in the middle of Derby, and it's where they make all of the blades for the engines. So there's a casting facility where they have furnaces, and then a lot of finishing processes, making sure the blades are all up to standard. But I work as part of the maintenance team, so it's going around fixing the machines that do all these processes. So it's mechatronic, so mechanical and electrical. So I've gained so many skills, got to work with so many maintenance teams and met so many people. It's been really good for my development.
That's excellent, Abby. I mean, and as you come into the end of your apprenticeship, have you got some idea of where you're going to be moving on to?
So hopefully I've been in discussions with the manager where I've been based recently, and hopefully there's going to be a spot for me to stay on with the maintenance team that I really get on with now. I'm up to scratch with all the equipment in the factory because I've been based here. So yeah, hopefully I'll get to carry on as I am because I'm really loving it.
Fantastic. Thanks, Abby. And George, I mean, you've just started your career journey, but do you want to tell a little bit about it up to now?
Yeah, so I'll just start with a bit of backstory. So I was born in Nottingham and travel to Derby daily. It's about 20 miles, so don't take that long, all motorway. But there is other apprentices on our course that have moved from Manchester, London, and are based in Derby. And a lot of them have chosen to stay in university halls as they are much cheaper and made other friends there. I travel daily, so I completed my GCSEs and A-levels at Hull Park Academy in Nottingham. And the day after I finished my A-levels, I started an apprenticeship, not with Rolls-Royce, with a small company in Nottingham. Right. And I was there for 7 weeks, and not every apprenticeship is going to be for everyone. So I didn't like it, so I left as soon as I had the opportunity, and I applied for university. And then I have a family friend that works for Rolls-Royce, and he went, "Why don't you just apply? It seems much better than the one I was at before." So I applied. I completed all my assessments, the online tests I did on a sunbed in the middle of Europe. So it was, and,
Excellent.
yes, eventually I was successful and began where I currently am in September. So yes, I've only been here for about 4.5 months, and our apprenticeship works that we're here for 4 years and we do 8 different placements at 6 months in each placement. So we get to see the business as a whole, which I think is great because you get to meet so many people, find out and have such a broad overview. So I'm in my first placement currently in supply chain, which I am 2/3 of the way through and loving, because I get to spend a lot of time traveling. I go and visit suppliers, and all hotels, food, everything like that is paid for. So yeah, I can't complain.
Wow, George. So I mean, you've packed quite a lot in, just saying you only started in September. So thank you for that. And Josh, I mean, I know you're on the same degree apprenticeship, but it looks like it's slightly different.
Yeah, a little bit. So I don't know what to tell people. I was born in Derby, but also kind of Nottingham. I was born in Long Eaton, so it's like a
Right, so it
mix
is on that
between the
border,
two.
yeah.
Yeah, on the border. So yeah, I was at the fittingly named Long Eaton School, 2015 for my GCSEs. I stayed on for their sixth form, for the convenience, as I didn't really want to travel at the time. Then, to be honest, throughout that whole time, I was really unsure what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to do something in business, but I figured apprenticeships would be the best route, just because again, it's the getting paid for, it's the work experience, and I'm not a massive fan of classrooms, so I figured that'd be better for me. So September 2022, after I had gone through the selection process, and got in, I was so happy about. I was on holiday as well, funny enough, when I got one, well, not when I applied, but when I got the call to say that I'd made it in. So then I started my induction at the Nuclear Skills Academy, and now I'm midway through my placement, so I'm a control account manager now.
Right, okay.
I've stayed a bit more office based, so not done as much as George has, but we have away days and we have a lot of fun. I've made very good friends with people in my office, and I'm looking forward to the rest of them. I'm looking forward to the rest of my placements, my time
That's
there.
great. No, thank you so much, Josh. So again, it's a different kind of placement, but like you say, it's your first one of 8, so you're going to have lots of opportunity to try different things out. So hopefully that's given you some really good ideas about what the apprenticeships are and what you can do. So applications are open now. So now I would like to open it up for questions. I realise that we have overrun slightly, but hopefully you found it really useful.
Yes, thank you guys so much. I know I learnt loads and the chat was flying through. Thank you for the team at Rolls-Royce for answering the questions as we were going along. That was much, much appreciated. I am conscious that we have run over. So one of the biggest questions that we have had, if Stella, you could just sort of talk about this really quickly, is the locations of I know Freya, you mentioned you're off to Germany, so I anticipate there's some travel opportunities, but in general, where are the locations that you offer these apprenticeships?
So for our advanced apprenticeships, we have got these over many locations in the UK, including Derby, Bristol, Washington, Inchinham, Bonolswick. Have I missed any out? Birmingham, so there's so many different options where you can go, and that's on the website. It tells you all those different locations. For the degree apprenticeships, it's mainly in Derby and Bristol, but as the apprentices say, actually you might start off in one location. So Freya started off in Derby, but because of the there's different opportunities and looking at doing different things, she's been able to go to different sites, and that's quite common for quite a lot of apprenticeships.
Fab, that's great. And just another one that we've had quite a few questions is, do you offer sort of any work experience for year 10, year 11 age groups?
Well, actually, we've just launched the pilot project this week.
Glad I asked.
Yes. So for Derby, Bonolswick, and for Bristol. So the work experience link is on the website, and it is a pilot project, so we haven't got many positions. I just want to make that clear, but we're hoping that once this pilot project has gone well for February, March and June, we can then look at extending it over the rest of the year.
Well, I think it will go well with the amount of students we've had asking. I think there's definitely some interest. But thank you for everyone who's attended. Much appreciated. I would just love to end if I could ask the apprentices, what is your favourite thing about working at Rolls-Royce, if you don't mind me asking? Abby, I'll just go with you since you're the first person I saw.
Okay, so mine I would say is being in the working environment and getting to join a team and really get that experience hands-on.
Josh, if you want to take it away.
I'd say, to be honest, it's similar because you're working in one business, but where we work, there's loads of different buildings, and you can go to one place on site, the same site, and it feels completely different. So it's like you're working in a different business. You learn new skills, you learn new things, and it's brilliant the fact that it changes it up. So it's not just the same old thing. You can change it regularly, and the work really supports your development as a person.
Oh, that sounds great. George, what's your favourite bit about Rolls-Royce?
I think the industry we are working in at the moment is incredible. It is the fastest growing, changing environment we've worked in, as well as, so I joined back in September not knowing anybody, and I've made some incredible friends along the way.
Oh, great to hear. And Freya, you've come to the end now of your apprenticeship journey, but you're staying on, so you clearly love it.
Yeah, so I would say that I really like the travel and the opportunities. It's not that I was like forced to go to Birmingham. There was a really good opportunity for me to go. And I really like the opportunities to do events like this. And I'm not just saying that, as Stella will know, I've literally done over 100 STEM events across the 4 years. So I absolutely love it. And I'm going to be super selfish and take one more minute of your time just to say my best piece of advice for people is definitely absolutely apply, because we take people from all different cultures or different backgrounds. Everyone is included within Rolls-Royce. So if you're questioning it because you don't think you'll be good enough or something like that, it's absolute rubbish. Please do apply, give it a chance. And the little situations to the parents and, you know, potentially people thinking about university is that this is my favorite bit, is that my theory is apply for your university if you want to, and apply for your apprenticeship. If you get the apprenticeship, what's it called? Postpone? What's it called?
Yeah.
Defer your offer for a year at university, because you can't defer an apprenticeship. The opportunity comes at once and one time only. So if you get it, go for the apprenticeship. If you don't like the apprenticeship, which I'm almost certain won't be the case, then you can you can quit if you want to. I'm not saying you will, but if you want to, you could then go to your university because you've deferred the offer. So it's like a free cheeky little trial period that is definitely off the books that I don't, you know, support as part of Rolls-Royce. But I definitely think, like, if you are curious, go for it, take the offer on the apprenticeship, and you've still got university as a backup anyway. And I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
Oh, that's a brilliant
So
little
thank
tip.
you.
Thank you so much for that. I think that was really, really helpful. To all the attendees, we've made a note of all the questions that you've made, and we will pass that on to the team, who will hopefully be able to get you some answers soon. But we'll also be uploading this to our YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it as many times as you like, as I'm sure your question was asked. And thank you to the team at Rolls-Royce. This was absolutely brilliant and really informative. Thank you guys so much, and we hope you all have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much.